All right, this is our last video in this module, and it's focused on one of the more important things, and that's actual job instruction. So, how do we prepare somebody to do a particular job? How do we become more effective teachers? This is really the first step in accountability, like it says. We have to be able to hold people accountable, but if we don't teach them what they need to know, then it's our fault, not theirs. Again, part of training with industry program, provide management with the tool whereby supervisors can acquire skill in instructing. So it's a whole lot less about doing the job and a whole lot more about teaching. So you have to get ready for job instruction training. So make sure you've got a plan, you have a timetable. How much skill do you expect both the supervisor and the performer to have, and by when? And then we break down the job as we've already talked about with the job methods. List those important steps, pick out those key points, and understand the reasons why. Have everything ready. Make sure you get the right equipment, materials, and supplies to take them through the entire process. Nothing's more frustrating than having to stop in the middle and go and fetch something else. Have the workplace properly arranged. So you don't want to teach somebody how to do a job away from where the job is actually done. You want to teach them in the workplace where they're actually going to do it, just as the worker will be expected to keep it. 4 key steps: prepare, present, perform, progress. Those are my labels, not TWI labels, but I want you to remember these things. So prepare, present, perform, and progress. One of the secrets to success for this is the repetition in sequence that we're going to talk about. So when we're preparing, we want to prepare the worker. So talk to them a little bit, put them at ease. Everybody knows they're going to be watching, so people are generally nervous about that. So state what the job is, find out what they already know about the job, get her interested in learning the job or more about the job, and explain how it contributes to the overall success of the company. Tie it to something bigger than them. Remember, this is about building satisfaction into the work. If we can make this work significant to the operators, we're going to have a much better time finding ways to improve it. Then put them in the correct position. Here's how we're going to start this process. Then present the operation. So tell, show, and illustrate, one important step at a time. Tell what each step requires, show how to perform each step, illustrate how each step fits together in sequence, and explain the importance of each step. Okay, now, one of the things I've discovered since I've started teaching this is it always helps if you demonstrate the job first. So watch me do the work. I'm going to do the work. I do it from start to finish. Any questions? Have a discussion about it, and then say, now, then show and illustrate. Okay, here's the first step. Here's the major step. Here are the key points. Here's why it's important. Here's what happens if this doesn't happen. And make sure you walk through each one of those and stress each key point. Even though not every step is critical, you know that those that are, you got to really treat those as critical. Instruct clearly, completely, and patiently, which is probably the most difficult part. But try not to overload the trainee. It's really easy to get too much too fast, and then stay connected with them. If they start to get frustrated, just slow down, take a break, let them know that learning new skills is time-consuming and often frustrating for everybody who does it. Then let them do it. Okay, so I'm going to do it one time all the way through. I'm going to do it another time, step by step by step by step by step. I might do it a third time, step by step by step, maybe even a fourth time, depending on how comfortable they're getting. Then I want them to try out their performance. So let them do it start to finish completely. And then at the end, say, here's what happened, here's what you saw, correct any errors. Then have them do the job again, this time explaining each key point as they do it. Step, 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 step. Make sure they understand each step and each key point along the way. So you have to ask lots and lots and lots and lots of questions. So this isn't about just telling them how to do it. It's a lot of asking them to make sure that they understand. Repeat that process until you know that they know, and then have them teach another team member. That's kind of like the final step. You bring somebody else in, and if they can teach it effectively, then you know that they've pretty much mastered that step. Might take more time, But at this stage of the game, how many times have we actually repeated this process? So we're looking for that repetition. I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3 times. They're going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And they're going to teach somebody else, which is that same sequence of them doing it, then have the learner do it. So we might have 10, 15, 20 repetitions of the process done by the time somebody's at a point where they can perform effectively. Um, we have them do it because we have them teach because that really jacks up their understanding. You really take the time to learn something when you're expected to teach it. So always include that in there. People, when you teach something, I mean, I remember stuff from 20 years ago. Right? My first task at the academic instructors course that the United States Air Force runs. It was a 6-week course down in Montgomery, Alabama. I had to go there when I was assigned to Wright-Patterson to teach at the Air Force Institute of Technology. The first thing I was asked to teach was how to fold an origami butterfly. Okay, that was 24 years ago. And by God, I can still fold an origami butterfly. That's the power of having somebody teach something after you've learned it. The final step is progress. You want to follow up with them to make sure that they know you haven't abandoned them, but put them on their own. Make sure they know exactly where to go for help. Assign somebody close by. Let them know that you expect them to call for help. Don't just try to power through. If you have any trouble at all, there's no shame in asking. We want you to ask for help. Bring somebody over. Here's who you need to talk to first. I'll be by a lot. Check back frequently, several times a day. Encourage them always to ask questions. Have them observe their teammates as they perform that same job function, and then work out those knack points, and then gradually taper off all that extra coaching and just lead. So again, there's prepare, present, perform, progress. So here's a quick review. 4 key steps in each of the skills for this. In job relations, get the facts, weigh and decide, take action, check results, PDCA. Let each worker know how they're getting along. Okay, provide feedback with people. Go and have conversations with people. Go and ask questions about how they think they're doing. Give credit when due. Tell people in advance how changes are going to affect them, and make best use of each person's ability. With job instructions, prepare, present, perform, progress. Review those again. Take some notes. Practice those. And then job methods, break it down, question every detail, develop the next method, and apply that next method. So in this standardized work chunk in Module 8, we've covered an awful lot of stuff, and it's been pretty quick. So you should by now understand the philosophy behind standardized work. And mine in particular, you got to recognize that this is not just about doing the job. It's about making a better person, engaging the brains of qualified people so that they can be greater contributors to the organization. We understand the 5 goals of standardized work, from making tacit knowledge explicit, going beyond skill, focus on methodology, simplify, and I can't remember the last one right now. Create lean standardized work system. That's where we went through all of the worksheets. So we went through the time measurement sheet, we went through the combination table, and we went through the standardized work chart where you get to draw a picture of things. Each of those is designed to help you understand the current state. And then the work balance sheet that we started talking about in the balance section. That's where we graphically depict those steps and put the value and non-value added steps in different colors so you can see them stand out. Play around with that balance to come up with a better sequence, a better way to do the work, and then implement that by creating a job breakdown sheet and an operation work standard sheet. Then we want to teach that to people using training within industry techniques, the job relations, job methods, and job instruction. Okay. That's it for the review. I'll see you in the next section, in the next module, which is going to be on motion economy and 5S, finally a little bit on 5S. Have a great night.